We good?
Attention passengers, welcome to the Lubbock Preston Smith International Airport. Flights 267 with service to Denver, Colorado is now ready to begin the boarding process. If we could have Group A, our consumers, please make your way forward.
As I was waiting for this flight, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this stuff about how these zebrafish, monkeys, and rats are being turned into what sounds like a mutant animal. I'm not really sure about this. Have you guys seen anything about it?
Yeah, I actually read something about it too. My name's Hannah and I'm just a physical therapist from New York, but I did grow up showing cattle in 4-H. I just read an article by the American Angus Association that said that gene editing could have a really positive impact in the ag industry. The article said that processes like artificial insemination, embryo transfer, in vitro fertilization, and cloning could really increase the efficiency and consistency of livestock production.
What's this about in vitro fertilization and artificial insemination? I don't really know much about it, and as a college student who's really focusing on my health and nutrition, I want to know where my food comes from and what's in it.
Well, hi, I'm Cameron, and as a professor of animal science at the local university, we feel that gene editing is the next powerful tool in our industry. Gene editing overall is a process by which a specific section of the DNA is recognized by an enzyme and then cut out by Cas9. Ultimately, it allows us to insert exogenous genes or endogenous genes into this new DNA to help overall livestock production. In sum, we think this process could really improve production efficiencies and overall maybe decrease costs for consumers.
I don't really see why we need to mess with Mother Nature. I think there's always an option for a natural, wholesome product.
Well, I've never heard of any of that, but it sounds pretty interesting. Thanks for flying with us, guys. How are you ladies doing this morning?
Good. Hi, I'm Karen. This is my sister Shane. We both have young families and we're very conscious about what we feed our children. With all this talk about gene editing, I'm just not sure that I want my family to consume meat from one of these animals, especially since we have no idea what the long-term effects are.
Like the group before us said, I can see how it might improve efficiency when it comes to the final product, but I'm a little skeptical about animals that have had genes spliced and replaced. Kind of sounds like a form of GMOs to me.
Yeah, it does. Attention passengers, we're now ready for boarding Group B. Can we please have our livestock producers make their way to the front?
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Good. My brother Shallow and I are Angus producers from South Dakota, and we're awfully excited about new genetic advancements and technologies that can accelerate the beef industry. For example, in the Angus industry, we implemented the single-step program in the past few years, and that allows you to evaluate genomes on a more advanced level, which can create more accurate expected progeny differences for us to use in selection.
And additionally, after we have a better understanding of EPDs, we can use gene editing to not only improve our top quality beef production in terms of a tender, juicy steak, but also with the SP10 or the SP110 gene, our cattle will be less susceptible to tuberculosis, allowing us to save money and maximize our production.
I can definitely see where you guys are coming from there. How are you guys doing today? Did you hear what these guys in front of you saying, talking about edited genes?
Yeah, I did actually, and I love the idea of using this new technology in the swine industry. My wife Nicole and I are swine producers from the Midwest, and back home, our main goal is increasing efficiency in all areas of production. Using this gene editing tool, I think we can improve sow productivity through increasing number born alive, increasing litter weight at weaning, and decreasing death loss from birth to finish. On top of that, 80 to 90% of our production costs come from feed. So I think we can use this tool to increase feed intake, feed efficiency, and growth through all stages of production. Ultimately, I think it's a no-brainer that this technology could improve the producer's bottom line.
To add on to that, I think we can all agree that the swine industry takes biosecurity very seriously, as far as washing in and out of production facilities and making sure that you change your shoes and clothes each time. However, we could potentially see a decrease in biosecurity costs and medical costs if we could edit a certain gene that could potentially improve the immune system of pigs. Also, I read an article the other day that stated the CD163 gene-edited pig is resistant to PRRS, also known as porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome.
Well, that stuff's way over my head, but it sounds like you guys are pretty knowledgeable. How are you fellas doing today?
Pretty good, how are you?
Not too bad.
I don't mean to intrude on the conversation, but I'm Lucas and this is Cody, and we're sheep producers from Montana. And with sustainability in mind, artificial insemination and embryo transfer is an affordable avenue to improve genetic pools all while still having the ability to feed the expected 9 billion population by 2050.
Yes, and by having higher yielding carcasses, we should be able to feed our growing population with a less expensive protein source for third world countries.
This is final call for our livestock producer group to please come forward.
Hey, I'm Wyatt. I'm a poultry farmer from Arkansas, and I've heard other producers talking who boarded already, and I'm honestly really excited about this technology. Although it hasn't fully taken off in the poultry industry yet, I'm very optimistic that it will. From what I heard, it'll really increase efficiency, which is huge in my line of work. It should really enhance my bottom line.
Well, it sounds like our livestock producers have lots of knowledge to share regarding this topic. Attention passengers, we're now ready for boarding group C to come forward. Can we have our packers, processors, and retailers make their way to the front?
I couldn't help but overhear the conversation from the producers in front of me. My name's Trevor DeHaan, and I'm an executive for Cargill, and gene editing has been a huge topic of discussion for our company. Over the past couple of years, we've seen great strides taken in genetic improvement, which has caused us to see a much more consistent product throughout our plants. Therefore, if there is a way for us to improve that consistency even further through the use of CRISPR-Cas9 and gene editing, then there is definitely a place for it at our company.
For sure.
Hi, if I could add on what the individual in front of me is saying. My name's Cole, and my partner Rachel and I are representing from Tyson's Garden City beef plant. And while the CRISPR-Cas9 system is still fairly new technology, we at Tyson feel that the further use of it in the future will not only increase consistency, but we will see higher yielding carcasses from breeds of cattle that typically grade lower, such as your Hereford and Bos Indicus breeds.
We at our plant use our #1 priority to meet our consumer and retailers' needs. With the use of this technology, we'll be able to meet our wide range of needs from our low-income households all the way up to our high-end retail restaurants.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. This is final call for our boarding group C to please come forward.
Adding on to, good, how are you? Adding on to the conversation ahead of us, I'm Emily and this is my coworker Dean. We're from the retail sector and our marketing advisors for Hy-Vee stores. And I feel that genome editing technology in livestock could have the potential to enhance uniformity in our retail cuts we have in our meat cases.
Yeah, from an economic standpoint, if we can have a more consistent quality product across our meat shelves, it's bound to improve our customer satisfaction and increase our total profit as a company.
For sure. Well, like most controversial topics, this flight's bound to have some turbulence. If we consider the strong opinions we've heard from the passengers we spoke to today, there's certainly a wide variety of thoughts regarding gene editing and livestock production. Well, it's great that consumers are concerned where their food's coming from, as we want them to be invested in the process it takes to get the product they're feeding their family. However, to an extent, the benefits could outweigh the speculation surrounding this technology. Currently, we haven't been able to evaluate any long-term effects, so if produced ethically and safely, we certainly think there's a place for this to be an integral role in bettering livestock production for the future. Boarding Group D, we're ready for you to join us, but before you fly with us, what questions do you have?
So obviously consumer buy-in is going to be a big part of this process. If you have a 30-second public service announcement, what do you say in 30 seconds? You know, if you have to put a commercial together for consumers to say that this product is safe.
I think that if you're going to put a commercial out there and you're obviously wanting to target consumers and you're going to have a wide audience of consumers, you're obviously going to have those consumers that want to know more about the product and might find it safe and wholesome, and then you're always going to have those speculators like we talked about. And so I think getting information that's accurate and educational out there is the first priority. Even though you only have 30 seconds, I think that that's the most important thing to be able to target both of those groups and ultimately get those consumers to come and buy your product.
And to add on to that, I think one of the easiest ways to connect with consumers is to meet them at their level. And so by sharing with them that these animals or the production of animals to us is very personable, it's our way of living, it's our lifestyle, it comes from a family background, 5 generations deep, meeting them with that family aspect, and then turning around and sharing with them that as they discuss genes that resist PRRS and different, safety issues from that, from a standpoint would help them understand that this is for their benefit, for the animal's benefit, and overall will benefit us all.
So you mentioned the sustainability impacts and create the possibility of creating a higher efficiency carcass. And with this technology, do you feel like packers would have to segregate the animals to keep these transgenic animals separate from your conventional animals?
Well, clearly there's already some separation between natural products and organic products in Packer in Packer facilities, like there has always been. And so I think it depends really what consumers are asking for, since consumers are going to be the ultimate say in what they want with their food, right? We have to answer to consumers. So if consumers are going to put up enough questions about where their food comes from and want to make sure there's a lot of segregation between natural, organic, or conventional products, and then maybe these gene-edited products, I think that will be the mainstay in whether or not it's going to be segregated in packing facilities.
Can we learn, or how can we learn from the grain industries? I guess the process they went through and the debate that they saw from the public when we started dealing with genetic GMO.
I think what we could do is, I won't say I'm an expert of it, but I think one of the biggest issues the grain industry found was they didn't get out and weren't as vocal about it to consumers, saying, this is a safe product. GMOs, from everything I've read, is a safe product, shown no health negatives. So, but I don't feel the grain industry came out and told consumers that. So if this was something that the livestock industry would produce, I feel like we would need to be upfront right away and be like, this is a safe product. We've done everything we can to ensure it's a safe product, and we're doing everything we can to ensure it maintains itself as a safe product.
To add on to what Colton was saying, I also think that giving the consumer backstory is very important. I think GMOs initially, they didn't give enough backstory of kind of how the process worked, and I think with the animal production side of it, if we just let them know that we're pretty much just evolving, or it's just increasing genetic evolution in one generation instead of taking 5 to 10 years to improve those genetics, and whether it's grain or whether it's livestock, to get to the point we want to be, we're just using this to increase and speed up genetic evolution as quick as we can and still make a safe, reliable product.